yet.
Surely not, though. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking it is.
Cool.
They took it
Get
off really
notification in a
soon.
minute, I'm sure. We are
They always do.
Wait,
live. Is that
They
it?
always take it off.
We good? All right.
They take it off?
Welcome back, Wednesday.
They put it back.
Okay.
It is Wednesday night.
I'm sorry.
We are in the book of Revelation. We are kind of everywhere, but that's okay. Oh, let me turn my volume down. Turn my volume down. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right, so we are up to chapter 17 in the book of Revelation. Again, I'm not so bold or arrogant or prideful as to think that I've got all the secrets unlocked. Nope, I don't. But I do know this, at the beginning and the end of the book, it says that we're blessed if we read it. So that's good enough for me. We're going to go there. And I think a lot of stuff, again, is hindsight is 2020. I think that the degree of overlap that we see in Revelation, I don't think it's so much a set of this will happen, then this, and this, and this, and this, and this, so much as it's just different ways of showing the same thing and an entire worldview in a lot of areas. That's just what I'm gathering from all of this. Again, hindsight's 2020, so, here we are. Not so arrogant as to think I know it all. So we are in chapter 17. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to read out of the Amplified or the King James. I think I'm going to go Amplified. Why not? It might as well. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and spoke with me, saying, "Come here. I will show you the judgment and the doom." Hold on, wait a minute. Sorry, where are you at, Mindy? Let's see. Have I read that one already? I don't think I have. Yep, we're on chapter 17. Okay. We're on chapter 17. I'm right. Y'all just have to bear with me. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and spoke with me, saying, "Come here. I will show you the judgment and doom of the great prostitute who is seated on many waters, influencing nations." And there's a reference to Jeremiah 51:13 there. "She with whom the kings of the earth have committed acts of immorality, and the inhabitants of the earth have become intoxicated with the wine of her immorality." Again, Jeremiah 25:15 and 16. And the angel carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was entirely covered with blasphemous names, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet and adorned with gold, precious stones, and pearls, and she was holding in her hand a gold cup full of the abominations and the filth of her sexual immorality. Okay. Waters represent nations and peoples. Going back to the theory that this is the papacy, that this is Roman Catholicism. Has it influenced leaders throughout the ages? Has it influenced entire nations? Has it brokered more political than religious? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You can follow that down through the ages. The 7 heads were representative of 7 hills. Okay? 7 hills. There's been many cities on 7 hills. But in the New Testament, there was another nation that represented Babylon, which was Rome. Rome was the new Babylon. So, city on 7 hills points you to Rome. This is another area where we go back to the papacy or Roman Catholicism. So do with it what you will. It ticks a lot of boxes.
That was one thing today, even I was scrolling through and found a video talking about Pope Pius, who was Pope during the during World War II. And, the support
of the Nazis.
The Nazis, and then later on them coming back and trying to rectify that problem. Once all the atrocities came, out in the open, and basically what you have is at first them just being against the Nazi Party in general, and then because they were concerned that they were no longer going to be allowed to function, that Hitler was going to cut them off, they start trying to be buddy-buddy with the Nazi Party,
And then they smuggle them out to South America?
and then they smuggle them out to South America. There's
that.
a lot of things even there that was just like,
Whole lot of fun quotes
they're having a
right
hard
here.
time. Like I said, they're having a hard time justifying that Pope. Because remember when the Pope says something, according to
It's God
their doctrine,
speaking.
that's the same thing as God speaking.
You can't undo it.
Me and Jimmy watched a thing where the elite, what is it, the Jewish.
You talking special forces,
And they hunt them
Nazi
down.
hunters.
They hunt them
Yeah.
down, and buddy,
Well, you do what you got to do.
we call those people spooks.
Yep.
Yep.
Go for it, man.
5. And on her forehead a name was written, a mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes, or false religions, heresies, and of the abominations of the earth. Mother of all false religions. Counterfeit.
Wow.
This goes back to, yes, there's the beast, but there's the image of the beast. Are we going to have another false religion? Is it going to be a different thing that's just made in the image? I think so. I think that there's going to be another slice off the pie, if you will. It could already be in formation and in place, ready to just be sure where you're at is teaching you sound doctrine. Be sure of what you're hearing. Be sure of how you hear. Check everything in the Word. Check us in the Word. I ain't, go back and check it for yourself. I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of the saints, God's people, and with the blood of the witnesses of Jesus who were martyred. When I saw her, I wondered in amazement. Can we look through history and see that no single organization has killed more of God's people than the Catholic Church? Let's just call it like it is. All the inquisitions, all of that, the blood toll was pretty high. Blood toll was pretty high. And it's still going on today. Still going on today. But the angel said to me, let's see, wait, skip one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yeah, when I saw her, I wondered in amazement.
Yeah.
Last line there. But the angel said to me, why do you wonder? I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that you saw was once, but now is not, and he is about to come up out of the abyss, the bottomless pit, the dwelling place of demons, and go to destruction. And the inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because he was and is not and is yet to come to earth. Daniel 7:3. This was talking about different rulers and different people in one commentary, Matthew Henry, that would be connected with the papacy. Some that have been, some that currently were, and others that would yet to be. Rome, in its former emperors being pagan, they were. And further on, and would be moving into the papacy. That's what Matthew Henry says. It's an interesting little read if you want to go back and read that. Here is the mind which has wisdom. This is what I know about the vision. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits. And they are 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen, 1 exists and is reigning. The other, when he cometh, he must continue a short space. This was the emperors at that point.
The other, so
Because the
5 fell,
yeah,
1,
was reigning.
and the one is the other did not yet come.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the Pope, and the one that's yet to come.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Antichrist, right? Or
Yeah.
the quote unquote Antichrist. That one.
Exactly. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition, destruction. I skipped over to King James. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sorry about that. That's what happens when they're parallel. Sorry, let me back up. I'll reread that in the Amplified 10. And they are 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen, 1 exists and is reigning. The other, the seventh, has not yet come, and when he does come, he must remain a little while. And the beast that once was, but is not, is himself also an 8th king, and one of the 7, and he goes to destruction. The 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but together they receive authority as kings for a single hour, for a common purpose, along with the beast. These kings have one purpose, one mind, one common goal, and they give their power and authority to the beast. They will wage war against the Lamb, and the Lamb will triumph and conquer them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him and on his side are the called and chosen, the elect and faithful. Daniel 2:47, 1 Timothy 6:15, Revelation 19:16. Then the angel said to me, the waters which you saw where the prostitute is seated are peoples and multitudes and nations and languages. And the 10 horns which you saw, and the beast, these will hate the prostitute and will make her desolate and naked, stripped of her power and influence, and will eat her flesh and completely consume her with fire. For God has put it in their hearts to carry out his purpose by agreeing together to surrender their kingdom to the beast until the prophetic words of God will be fulfilled. The woman whom you saw is the great city which reigns over and dominates and controls the kings and the political leaders of the earth. Is there going to be a great turning and rending on all quote unquote, on this quote unquote religion? This quote-unquote way of doing things? Is that when the real war breaks out?
So is this kind of like evil destroying evil type scenario?
Well, that will happen eventually. That will happen eventually. But like I said, hindsight is what's 20/20. But reading this, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get real ugly. At what point are we getting pulled out? Remains to be seen. How much of this is overlap? How much of this is set in stone? This, and this? How much of this is different explanations of the same thing? But you can look around and see the pieces falling into place every day.
I know on Victory News the other night, or it might have been 700 Club, I can't remember. But anyway, they were doing rallies or whatever to destroy Christianity. They said that it had to be stopped.
Yeah. Wow.
Saying that
It was a crowd. It was, they were holding up signs and.
here in the States or abroad.
Huh?
In the States or abroad.
No, I think it was over here.
Wow.
Some of the same people said, don't shove your agenda down our throats, but yet.
They'll shove their agenda down your throat. Remember, their ways are movable. You can't
That's
not
true.
move them.
That's true.
That say one thing and do another.
That's
It's
it.
just that's
It's everywhere.
Wishy-washy.
Yeah. It's,
That's right. Well, I guess we'll start 18.
Okay.
I don't know how far we'll get in 18 because it's a long one, but we're going to try. After these things, I saw another angel coming down from heaven, possessing great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his splendor and radiance. And he shouted with a mighty voice, saying, Fallen, fallen, certainly to be destroyed is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place for demons, a dungeon haunted by every unclean spirit, and a prison for every unclean and loathsome bird. Wow. It's just going to fall and be ugly.
Unclean and hateful bird. What? I mean, that's a little strange. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I'm stopping you there, yeah.
Nope, that's fine. Here we go. Let's see, that was in verse 2.
I mean, because we're talking about demons, and usually, with the.
Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong thing. To me, does that go back to another thing about different kingdoms of the demonic?
That's what I was thinking.
The Ariel kingdom.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Womp womp. There you go. Just saying. You learn all kinds of things in deliverance. These things just stand up to you. Okay. Let's see. Hateful. Let's see. Yeah.
Unclean and hateful bird.
That's pretty much it. Things that are hated.
The reference on that is Isaiah 14 and 23. What is that? Isaiah 14 and 23.
Isaiah.
14 and 23 was the reference in my Bible. 14.
Now, doesn't it talk about, I don't know where, but about the birds that are going to come and birds of the earth are going to come and basically eat the dead people that
Yeah.
there's so many people that die, and there's going to be a swarm of birds. I don't know if that's,
Yep.
I don't know if it's talking about, because it says every foul spirit, which is
Yeah.
spiritual, and a cage of every unclean, hateful bird. I don't know. I'm just,
Yeah.
but I
It's-
really don't know.
That's just,
Wondering.
yeah. That's just interesting to me.
I'm seeing
I don't have a,
Henry going in talking about where the word is repeated as it is here, as fallen, some have thought of a double fall. Hereby intended first her apostasy,
Yeah.
and then her ruin.
okay. Cool. But I do think that's interesting. That's a good one for us to keep in our
Isaiah
deliverance.
21 and 9. And lo, the chariot of a man is coming, a couple of horsemen, and he answered and say, Fallen, fallen hath Babylon, and all the graven images of her God he hath broken to the earth.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know.
But that's interesting. Hateful bird.
I'm seeing some
Yeah. Or loathsome.
some wordage here that's sparking my interest. I mean, just kind of.
That's one for study, but I think it renders to what we've been studying with different deliverance ministers like John Eckert that
Right.
obviously there is divisions.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like usually when I would see something like that, I would think my mind would go to demonic.
Well, yeah, it's talking about demons, so
Well, think about something else too, though. In the New King James, it reads, a cage for every unclean and hated bird.
yep.
Oh, a hold of every unclean spirit and a hold.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you see, you missed that part. So not.
Okay.
I'm reading the Young's literal.
Okay.
It says, and he did cry at might with a great voice, saying, Fall, fall, did Babylon the Great, and she became a habitation of demons, and a hold of every unclean spirit, and a hold of every unclean, hateful bird. So, a cell, a prison.
Yeah. It's a prison.
Okay.
Yep.
I got you. So yeah, we are probably still talking about the demonic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still demonic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
The demons.
Well, just, what we've been studying, John Eckert and a few others talk about the divisions of the demonic kingdom, that there is aquatic demons, there are bird-like demons, and then there are like animal-type demons. So this, to me, backs that up some degree, because here we have bird-like demons,
Yeah.
foul,
Hateful
or
birds,
hateful
yeah.
birds.
Yes.
Not just talking about buzzards.
No, it's not-
turkey
no,
vultures or
no.
Something like
Well,
that.
They'll probably just say buzzards if it meant buzzards.
In the ESV, it says a haunt for every unclean spirit.
Yep.
A haunt for every unclean bird. And a haunt for every unclean detestable beast.
Yep, it does add that there too.
Wow.
ESV can get fun.
But it's obvious that it's
It's spiritual.
It's not unclean.
It's spiritual.
We're not just talking about
A buzzard.
kosher
No.
animals here.
No.
We're not talking about you
Nope.
know,
There's more to it.
yeah.
Okay.
Detestable.
For all the nations have drunk from the wine of the passion of her sexual immorality, and the kings and political leaders of the earth have committed immorality with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich by the wealth and economic power of her sensuous luxury. Now, anytime right here where the King James will say fornication, it also means idolatry. Idolatry.
Again, and we're not just trying to hate on the Catholic Church here, but
But it ticks a lot of boxes.
you can go back even to some of the first elected popes, and you'll recognize
Pick a page.
the ones that were elected had the stuff that
Had the money.
that they could give
Yep.
in order to get the people that they wanted elected. And the first one, if I remember correctly, I think was the son of a banker
It's in here.
in Italy, if I remember correctly. Or
Oh man, they waged
It's
violent
a lot of
wars, man. They went in and killed each other to get the papacy. What you talking about? It got nasty.
so
It got nasty. I'm telling you. Whew. And yeah, they bought kings, they bought nations, they bought wars. It was who had the most money. But yeah, how much has that influenced political movements? How much has that influenced whatever? How many people go and pay homage to Vatican City? And
well, yeah, I mean, even talking about presidents as far as Catholics
oh yeah.
go. I mean, what's the one everybody loved? John F. Kennedy. Staunch Catholic.
Oh, he was hated because he was Irish and Catholic when he first got in.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yep.
there you go. Somebody in authority, but that's submitted
Yeah.
to the Catholic Church,
Oh, yeah.
quote unquote. I mean,
Yep.
and then what do you have coming about at the same time? The Vietnam War.
That's it.
I mean, there's I'm not trying to get all conspiracy theory tinfoil hat on you guys, but you think about it, and it's just like, man, there's a lot of coincidences there.
Now I think this next verse, y'all, right here. This is why I'm saying I believe there's so much overlap. I don't think we have the timeline, quote unquote, just right. I think God was showing John the same thing in a number of different ways in a lot of areas that we've just missed it on.
Okay.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, so that you will not be a partner in her sins and receive her plagues." Come out from her way of doing things. Come out from her. This is, to me, is another thing that tells you that this is a quote unquote religious system. This is a false Christianity, because why else would God's people be part of her? Why else would God's people be part of her if it wasn't a false Christianity? because we're going to turn running from Hinduism. We're going to turn running from all these other things that do not worship God, do not worship Jesus Christ.
I mean, we made
It's-
a decision as a church to stop having service on Sunday and to start having service on Saturday. You know,
Yeah.
mainly, or not mainly, but partly due to the fact that, you know, in Catholicism, they changed that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they changed that time from
To show their superiority.
to show their superiority.
That was their stance, to show their superiority to the written word of God.
They doubled down on it at one point by saying that they weren't going to change because the Protestants
Yeah.
continued
To
to
have
service
church on Sunday.
On Sunday,
That's why they wouldn't
like
change.
they did, and that was something that they
Yeah.
established.
I don't think so.
So, I mean, and then what we just read before about the merchants. What was it?
She committed immorality.
The
Yeah.
merchants of the earth and
Yep.
the power of her were made rich.
Yeah.
And y'all, I'm not hating on Christmas. We're not gonna lose celebrating the birth of Christ. But think about that. What, you know, Black Friday, all these dates. You know, this time of the year where the merchants go
Oh, yeah.
into the black instead of the red because they make so much money
Yeah.
back from people buying
Yeah. For that. Yeah.
Christmas presents.
Absolutely.
Now, can you? I mean,
Yeah, you can totally see it. You can totally see it. Look how much of our society is influenced by that. Why do you think every buffet serves fried fish on Friday?
right?
It ain't just because it's Fish Friday.
Go to Cracker Barrel.
Fish is the special.
The special of the day is fish.
Fish.
Go to most restaurants. Special of the day on Friday is fish.
Why? Because of the Catholic. I don't understand it. They don't qualify fish as meat. I don't understand.
Well, no, they're not allowed to eat
Red meat?
I guess.
No, they can have chicken. They can have fish.
They can have fish.
I don't know.
Saturday. That's it.
That's just.
Did you ever hear the story about the guy that moved?
Yes, I
to the
did.
apartment
Yeah, you was
complex?
born a cow. Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
that one. Okay. Yeah, that's a story for later.
He was born a calf, raised a cow.
I
I
baptized.
baptized you a fish.
Yeah. Nope,
All right.
that's not how it works.
You're
Okay.
a joke.
Okay, I know, because you gotta focus.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, verse 4. Wait a minute, we done read verse 4. Here we go.
5.
We're on 5. We're continuing on the thoughts of verse 4. There we go. For her sins, crimes, and transgressions have piled up as high as heaven, and God has remembered her wickedness and crimes for judgment. Jeremiah 51:9. That's a lot of crimes. That's a whole lot. You know, I was reading, and like I said, if you want to go down this rabbit trail, if you really want to go down this rabbit trail, get the book A Woman Rides the Beast by Dave Hunt. If you really want to go down that rabbit trail. And yes, you could do your own research, I suppose, but he has everything very well noted. So, yeah, you know, the notation, yeah.
It's cited.
It's cited. The whole book is cited. Like you go to the back,
It got footnotes.
it got the footnotes. It tells you exactly where it comes from.
Where it comes from, it's not just somebody talking
No.
without backing it up.
No, it's well cited,
It is research.
and it is very well researched. And it's one of those books I'm only about halfway through with it because I have to read like 2 pages and then just sit down and think about what I just read, because honestly it seems like fiction, the stuff that I'm reading, like, you know, just fun stuff there. If you want to fall down that rabbit trail, there's the place to start. And yes, that would be as high as heaven, some of the stuff I've read. Okay, moving back. 6, repay to her even as she has repaid to others, and pay back to her double her torment in accordance with what she has done. In the cup of sin and suffering which she mix a double portion of perfect justice for her. Psalms 137 and 8. So judgment is going to fall on this false Christianity. And God's telling his people to get out of there. Get out of there before it happens, because it ain't going to be good. To the degree that she glorified herself and reveled and gloated in her sensuality, living deliciously and luxuriously, to that same degree impose on her torment and anguish and mourning and grief. For in her heart she boasts, I sit as a queen on a throne, and I am not a widow, and will never ever see mourning or experience grief.
To me, that is kind of like, reminds me of self-worship. Just
Yeah.
being completely immersed into oneself, that they're just,
Absolutely.
I guess deceiving
to
themselves,
me, it's
yeah.
like saying I'm above the law. I
Well,
can
Yeah.
do whatever I want to do,
That's the way they.
and there's not going to be any penalty for me.
Right.
it's,
Nope.
oops. You know, the podium don't go all the way over there. Excuse me. It goes right there. All right. Verse. I might need one more cup of coffee.
You might need one more.
8. For this reason, in a single day, her plagues, afflictions, calamities will come, pestilence and mourning and famine, and she will be burned up with fire and completely consumed. No, you don't want to be there. Now, is that a day? Or is that the time frame again, going back to, you know, the prophetic timeline representation? Don't know. But we're going to see a deterioration. And I think we've been seeing deterioration of quote-unquote religion and things for a very long time.
It says the ungodly will experience great sorrow at the overthrow of the world system.
Yeah.
That is the other thing with this too. That thank you for saying that, because this whole thing that we've been discussing, you know, we've been discussing is the Catholic Church, but not just
Yeah.
the Catholic Church, but like I said, the world.
Look at your source
System.
and all of them that
Yeah.
think
Well,
that they've got it wrapped.
Yeah.
That they've got it.
It's so intertwined.
When Jesus was here,
Yeah.
if you read in the Gospels, go do a word search on how many times he says, I've come to preach the kingdom.
Yes.
I've come to preach the kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is like this. The kingdom of heaven is like a tree. And the kingdom of heaven is
Yeah.
it is a treasure in the king.
Yeah. The kingdom.
The kingdom.
The kingdom. The kingdom.
And
There's two kingdoms.
Your husband. That
Yeah.
was one thing that he started teaching me
Yeah.
early on, and he said now he called it kingdom dynamics.
Yeah.
But being kingdom minded, when you're a part of the kingdom, you're doing away with the world system. basically,
Absolutely.
In your
It's
life,
completely
you're
opposite of the
completely
world
opposite
system.
of the world system.
Absolutely.
The world says to keep.
God says to
But
give.
God says,
Hoard.
I give, so it's
Given unto me, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over.
Shall men give unto my bosom.
There you go.
The world says to worry about tomorrow.
Yep.
And try and take control over
Yep.
what's going on. Take control over your life. And
Yeah.
and Jesus says,
Don't worry about it.
hey, take my yoke upon you, because my burden is
That's
easy
it.
and my yoke is light.
Don't
cast
take no
your cares
thought.
on me, because I care for you. Don't worry about tomorrow, because you know what a day might not be.
Yeah, that's it.
What a day brings forth. Hey, you know. He came to preach the kingdom. Why? Because when
feeds
we
the
get
birds.
so stuck into this world system, yeah, he feeds the birds. He knows
clothes the flowers.
He clothes the flowers, and if he does that, how much more will he do it for you as a
Yeah.
child of God?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But we like to worry about it. We like to do things the world way. We look at these quote unquote successful people that get out there and they and there's nothing wrong with work. You need to work.
Nope. Yep. Working is
You know, if you
you're
work for
supposed to
yourself,
work.
You got to beat the bushes.
That's also New Testament. You work.
For somebody else, you got to be diligent in what they put you over.
That's also New
But you have
Testament.
got
But
to
that's-
put the things of
Yes.
God first.
Right.
That's
And
it.
it has to be
Not
above your job.
Yeah, not over-
above your family.
over the job.
Yeah.
Not
Exactly.
You don't work, you don't eat, but know your provision comes from
That's
God.
it.
well, that's it.
That's it.
That the work is part of it. You're gonna work, but when God puts on you that hey, look, you need to stay home today, or
Okay.
you know what, this week, you know, I had a lot of things going on, and I had to take off,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to. But buddy, I'm sure glad I did because I was able to resolve a lot
of issues.
just from taking off one day. And it was small stuff. You know, I was even able to cut the grass, thank God. You know?
Yay.
It didn't
Because it's
rain.
been a bog.
It's been a bog, and I was able to cut grass. I was able to put the points on the pump.
Yay. We didn't have to go jiggle
you know,
it.
think about it though. When Jesus was ushering in
Yes.
the new covenant,
Yes.
when he sent out his people, he told them, don't take no script, don't take no money pouch,
Yes.
don't take 2 coats.
Just go.
You go.
That's it.
And what he was teaching them was his provision.
That's right.
The Father's provision, not and see,
Goes against our way of doing it.
we are born with the world telling us you need a job with good benefits, with a 401k,
Yeah.
with a this and with a that. You need this.
Yeah.
Are those good things to have?
Sure.
But what it
There's
is
nothing wrong with
you
having that.
start
No.
wrapping your security
Around the world system.
It's not
Yeah.
into that, and that's the reason, listen, that's the reason when a lot of these people that's been at these jobs so long and it collapses,
Yeah.
what do?
They kill us.
Like,
They
yeah.
don't know what to do. They don't have
Security in God.
security, and they end up blowing their brains out,
Absolutely.
hanging themselves, because that was their security, and
Yeah.
God shall supply all my
it's
needs.
been taken away.
Yeah.
And see, I'm thinking that's the reason you have got, look here, it goes against the grain, people. And look here, I would love to tell you, oh, it's easy to do. It's easy to do. You know, when Jimmy started going to Haiti, guess what, y'all? Guess whose money took him to Haiti? Do y'all think that people paid our bills while he was gone? No.
Nope.
I mean, we had to trust the Lord, but you know what?
He provided.
God provided every
Always.
single time. Our bills was paid, our lights didn't get cut off, we didn't go hungry. Now, over there in Haiti, he didn't have, I mean,
Yeah, yes.
It's it's not a vacation. It's not a
Rice and
vacation.
beans, and then you
Yeah.
sit in church for
Hours.
hours without an air conditioner.
Yep.
but you know what I'm saying
Dirt
is,
huts.
we grow up
Yeah.
being bombarded by the world to
Yeah.
depend on the world's ways, to go in debt. If you want something, go ahead, get a loan for it. You only live once. That's what they say. No, you're going to live for all eternity.
Or find out ways to try to skip out of all that. What is it?
And I just, there comes that point where Jimmy used to say, where there's a line drawn in the sand.
That's right.
And you have to make that decision. Do I trust him or do I not?
Yeah.
Do I really trust him? And I would love to tell y'all it's always easy. I tell you, it's not.
Well, again, with man, if we look,
But I
There's
believe,
the whole world
but I
loses
believe
its
that's
soul.
the reason for the body.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
reason it's so important to be at church with your
Yes.
with like-minded people
To connect.
who can tell you it's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
God said this and give you scripture and to build you up
That's right.
and to give you their testimony.
That's it.
Look, this is what happened to me. This is what I went through, and this is God delivered me.
That's right.
And He's no respecter of persons. If He'll do it for me, He'll do it for you.
That's right.
He makes that way. Did He promise us that this here walk on earth is gonna be a rose garden? No, it's not. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, you'll have the rug pulled out from under your feet and you'll hit hard.
but
But He's always
his promises
still stand.
are still standing.
They still stand.
That's right.
His promises are yes and amen. His promises
We might not
are still
understand
there.
that, but we trust Him.
His promises are still there.
Yes.
And He still talks to us, and He still does.
And He
His
does.
word is still true, and He's got to.
And
He
we
makes
can trust
everything
Him.
work for our good.
That's right.
That's it.
Right.
All right, y'all, we have went over. So I'm going to tell y'all good night. I'll see y'all Saturday. Remember, we love you, God loves you, and there ain't a thing you can do about it.